And welcome back to Three's Company's podcast with your hosts, Joseph Blue and Tate Flack and Taggart Flack. Lads, how are we all doing today?
Doing great.
Doing well.
I love these cold intros because we just talked for like 30 minutes
I
before
know.
this. And then I ask how their day is and they go, it was good. Yeah, it was a good day.
No, yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on, I guess. I got on tomorrow. Tomorrow I test out for my brown belt.
Oh, here we go.
3 or
Big
4
talk.
weeks, yep, of McMap, and then I'll finally be done. But might get sent to instructor's course, and then it's going to be another 3 weeks of this.
Jeez.
So,
So is McMap optional? Like you opted in for this, or it's mandatory?
yeah, it's optional, but each time you belt up, you get points towards promotion. So it's kind of needed for promotion if you want to be competitive, but it's also optional. No one's making you do it.
Promotion for your belt, or promotion in the military?
Promotion
Like
in the Marine Corps as a rank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the Air Force is not like that at all.
We actually had 2 Air Force members join our McMap program just for a little bit. Came every once in a while just to get like the first belt, like the entry-level tan belt. So, yeah, any service can do it. But it's pretty fun little program.
I think, like, in basic, we basically just learned. We had pages that we learned about what you could do to defend yourself, but we never even did any like in-person fighting. And then here's
Tate's
the
read
Marines
about
that
it.
are like, yeah, I read about it, you know.
He thinks he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty cool now because we're actually like, now that I'm going for brown belt, which the only one higher is black belt, we're like doing some real stuff. So we did like a little bit of ground fighting, you know, in like the belt before, and then a little bit of standing striking. But now we have 6-ounce gloves, like 2 3-minute rounds. You got 6-ounce gloves, little headgear on, and shin guards, and standing to ground fighting. You can throw strikes, you can kick, you can take them to the ground, try and submit them, different stuff. So it's kind of cool. It feels like little UFC matches.
Oh, speaking of UFC matches, for one, did you watch the fight last night, or you hear
I
about it?
knew the fights were happening last night, but I had already had plans to the beach. So I was at the beach when they were happening. I do know the outcome of one of them.
The Usman Kamara fight? Not, I'm an idiot. Usman Masvidal.
Yeah, Masvidal. I was like, what? But yeah,
His
Masvidal.
name is
apparently
Kamara Usman, so when I said Usman Kamara, it's the same
Okay.
guy. But
got
yeah, he
himself
got rocked.
rocked. Yeah.
He got rocked. I've never watched. I don't think I've watched any Usman fights. I've watched Masvidal. He's a pretty good fighter.
Yeah.
It was a decent fight. I watched all the highlights of the first round because it was only the second round. I think he got knocked out in the second,
Dang.
but it was pretty exciting.
Speak-
Also,
Never mind.
Go
Go.
but there is at Liberty. There's an underground fight scene developing here.
Really?
It's wild. So last week or like 2 weeks ago, we had a fight. Like I didn't go, but I saw it on some people's Snapchat because I didn't know what was happening.
Like a fight broke out, or it was a part of the underground organization?
Oh, it's an organized fight league. So they
Okay.
pick like 3 guys, or like 6 guys to come fight. 3 fights, 2 3-minute rounds, I think. They give them headgear and gloves, and they go meet up at some random off-campus place, and they make them fight in this big ring of people, and it's cool. Anyways, one of my buddies may potentially be in this new fight league as a fighter. So I will be.
I'd be
joining
all over
soon.
that. We tried to do that at Foothill.
Yeah.
Like it to some varies of success, but then it wasn't great. But we did have fight nights, just friends and buddies. We all got together. Ricky's mom was a nurse, so she was like, "You should do it at our house, you know, in case anything goes wrong." So we were like, "Oh, chill, parents, let's go." And then I remember we did one at a birthday party. Before I left, I think like Elijah fought someone with our boxing gloves or something.
Remember at your
Alex
graduation party,
Weddle
Cole
or
Millward.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex
Cole
Weddle.
Millward got bloody nose.
Yeah, so we always try to do that, you know. I think I was like 5-2 was my fight night record, like for our little group because eventually I got to the point where I was fighting people way above my weight class in arms reach. Like,
Yeah.
Luke Anstein's friend, I think Hayden was his name. Big dude, long reach, and Corbin, big man. Yeah, those were hard. I never got like knocked down or whatever, but it was probably like if you had to call a winner, you probably won those.
That's funny. Yeah, they do the super official. Like they do weight class. They make you sign something.
Yeah.
Like
We was going to get into that, but now I have McMap, so now I get to do that close to it every day. Submitting people, chaos. Yeah.
I wish I fought growing up. Not like fought like fist fights, but like just a form of fighting.
Yeah, I mean you can still. Gyms are so expensive. That's the only thing. But like there's a UFC gym. I thought it'd be so cool just to like start to go there and actually do some of the stuff. Because even if you get your butt whooped, you're getting better than you were if you had not gone.
You're also getting like confident getting your butt whooped. Like if you're confident getting your butt whooped, you're almost scarier than someone who's never had their butt whooped.
Yeah.
Like if someone's in there and who can like get like I feel like I'm fairly confident getting my butt whooped. I've never had my butt like really whooped, but I'm not like too afraid of it.
Well, it's a different story too if you're doing like a bout or a match, like and if you're gonna tap out or something and you know it's over, than if you were in like a street fight and you got someone mad at you at the bar or something. Like who's to say he's not gonna keep on throwing punches when you're down? You know
that's
what I mean?
not good.
So
that's when you hope like the crowd steps in and
yeah
breaks it up. I would love to like join like a jiu-jitsu because one of my buddies here on the campus does jiu-jitsu like 3 times a week. So I fought him in the common room, and I always say you don't want the smoke, and he's like, I do want the smoke. I was like, no, you don't. And then we just wrestle for like 10 minutes. So I fought him. Oh yeah, he weighs like 180.
Oh.
And he just crushes me. I don't weigh 180, and he's a fighter.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I love it.
Speaking of fights, it's a little off topic, but did you hear what happened yesterday?
No.
No? Okay, so
UFC fight?
I know. I thought that's true. That happened too, but I was tracking this. I thought it was like a meme at first, but it turns out it happened. So there's this
the Josh
dude,
fight?
Yeah, the Josh fight. So in quarantine, this guy named Josh reaches out on Facebook or some type of social media and makes a group of all these other people with his same name. And then he tells them, like, we are going to fight an all-out brawl. The winner, like, is the real Josh. Everyone else must change their name or something. You have 365 days to prepare. Good luck. Like, that's like the message to all of them.
And then he dropped random coordinates.
Yeah, and then he dropped random coordinates. And yesterday was the culminating event. Like, that's like when it happens. And hundreds of people showed up. I think is it in Nebraska or something? Wherever the coordinates happened.
It was a random field in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and hundreds of them show up. And it took a lighthearted turn. Like, they had pool noodles and, like, rubber swords or whatever. But yeah. That's just so crazy that it actually came together. They had hundreds of Joshes or whatever go over there and fight it out.
I'm in this group chat, and they're like, did you see that Josh won? They're like, yeah, but Josh was a close second. He put up a good fight. I was like, such idiots.
So dumb.
It was so funny.
Yeah.
That's like, remember when they had that organized event to storm Area 51 at one point, and all those memes that came with that?
Yeah, those were golden. Didn't we actually have... Did Hannah's sister and boyfriend go to that?
I don't know if they actually went, but I know...
Because I think they had a plan. Yeah, they were planning to. Like, legit going to the Area 51.
Why?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
To cause some trouble. Get shot at.
Crazy.
That was scary.
But it was kind of cool to think... So most people that watch this podcast have probably heard, or maybe they haven't, but of me trying to write a book. Or me in the process of writing a book. And it fell along the same lines of, like, how Josh was like, oh, we're all Joshes, like, we have to fight for our name. Or whatever.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so that story, I guess one time when I was sitting down in the chow hall at Goodfellow, where my training was, I was eating, it was probably like 5 in the morning or something, and I was, kind of tired just going through the motions, eating this food. And this guy passed me, and his name, because we have our name tapes like on our shoulders or whatever, or chest, and his name was Gomez. And he walked by, and I was like, bro, it's all 5 a.m. And I swear that's like the third Gomez I've seen already. Just a random thought that came into my head. And then, I don't know, kind of creative. I was like, what if you had to fight every person that had your same last name that wasn't blood related? Like, so that there could only be one. You know? And then I just started developing this really cool world, like, around that fact, where you had to be the only one. And it was just kind of started as lighthearted, but then I kept getting in more and more detail, and I was like sharing it with my friends in class one day, and they're like, you should write a book, like, this is incredible. And then it just built from that point on. I had to have a reason that they would actually do it, like, because who's just going to fight someone because they have the same last name? So I had to be rooted in something. So I ended up spending like a couple months like just diving into like Greek mythology, Norse mythology, like something to where I could kind of base it, and then I got a base in that and created a whole character outline and map. Anyway, before I get out of the military, or before the end of my first enlistment, which will come in 2023, my goal is to have it in the publishing process.
Wow.
Like, finished writing, because even at this point, I got to do it just to say that I wrote a full book.
Yeah.
You know?
How many pages do you have right now?
I think I have like 36. So not too bad, and I have the good portion of it all outlined. What's really hit me hard is, if you don't know me, I've read like no books. Like, I was a great writer all through like high school and everything. I can write very well. I can create things well. My wording is good, but I get very bored. Like, I was never able to read books because I don't know if I have ADD, ADHD, something, but like, I would get locked in my room to read for summer homework or whatever because I had to read the books, and I'd freak out. Like, I just could not do it. Like, I think I punched the door or whatever. I was freaking out. My parents were like, what in the world? I went outside and I like started beating up a tree. Like, just punched a tree till all my knuckles were bloody.
Because of a book.
Yeah, because by the time I'm reading, like, I will be reading, and then I'll get to the bottom of the page, and I'll have I don't even know what I've read because my brain is somewhere else. And it would be so frustrating because I couldn't hold on to any of that information. I think, which is a huge reason I'm a big movie, TV type of guy. And that's the way my brain works too. Like, so if you were to tell me to describe like a castle or whatever, my brain almost like drops me into the middle of nowhere, and then I start building it around me, like in my mind. So it's almost like I'm always watching a movie inside
Probably
of my
a big
brain.
visual learner.
Yeah, so anyways, that's how I've like been very descriptive in my book and stuff. But going back to the hard part of it is dialogue, or like small things that aren't really important, but you have to have substance to lead up to your next big point. Because I have the whole book fleshed out, and it's actually supposed to be 3 books. Like, it would be a 3-book series if I can actually do it the way I want it. And I just hit my writer's block trying to like weasel my way from getting from small point to small point to small point to big point to small point. Just kind of the fluidity of it.
Yeah, you don't just want a 50-page book with only the good parts. You actually need...
Yeah, but what's hard about that for me is because I know for a fact that if I absolutely love this book, so many other people are going to find it entertaining. Because I'm so hard to please when it comes to books. The only downside to that is I hit the writer's block because I don't want this to ever be boring. You know? There has to be a reason for everything. There has to be a reason for all my characters. Like, and there are, but then when I need more characters, except for just my important people, I have to go all the way back to scratch because I hate useless characters. There's nothing worse than just a useless character.
What about like writing a play script? Since you're more into movies.
Yeah, but a
Have you thought about
play, like if we're talking like theatrical, like
Or
there's way
like
too many, like you're entering all the blocking, like you're typing the different blocking and what type of emotions or ultimately what I want this to be would be an incredible TV show or like movies. I'd rather have TV show because I think TV shows you can tell more than like a movie. Movies
Oh,
are
yeah.
great, but a TV show can span so many episodes or minutes if you want to think of it that way. You can fit in a lot more. But I thought the best way to do that is to have a book on it first. You
Because
know?
you're such a book guy. So that was smart.
Well, but I'm just saying a lot of things get translated from a book to a movie or a book to a TV show.
Were there ever? Am I an idiot for asking this question? Is Harry Potter a movie?
They are movies, but they were
Oh,
The
okay.
books are
originally
French,
books.
but then
And Percy Jackson made it into movies, right?
Yes.
there's
There's
yeah,
the Lightning
yeah.
Thief. That's the only one
Yeah,
I know
okay.
off the top of my head, but
I was just wondering.
there's a lot more books, but they just never finished making movies for the rest of
Tate, when's the last time you read a full book, like cover to cover?
last year or something, or more than a year ago for like school.
Cover to cover, you actually read it, or did you skim it and read a report on it?
Spark noted all of them.
I think we actually read it in class. That's the
Oh,
only
okay.
reason we actually read it.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
through
I
all
don't really
high
ever read
school.
books.
Just spark noting. I could not read them. I think the last book I read, cover to cover, was Chosen. I think Tate might know when that was. It had to have been, I don't know, freshman year-ish, something like that. I think the first, because the first book I ever read, like, and actually read the book was Divergent. And I read that during one of those choir days that we were talking about with Mr. Gagno. One of those, someone gave me the book Divergent to read, and I actually blew through that in like, I think 8 or 10 hours. I read the whole book. Like 400 pages or more.
That's the best thing about a book. If you can get sucked into it, that's all you want to do is read it.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
Not had
It's
that
hard to find a good
experience
book.
very often at all.
Well, I hate to start reading a book, but then once I'm in a book, like I read the Percy Jackson series, and
Yeah.
once I was in it, it's like I just want to read it, and then it's like I'm having to go to class and I don't want to put down the book.
Yeah, that's true. You can get sucked in. I read a book last summer, chapter or cover to cover.
Okay.
It's a fatty book. I felt good about myself.
And it's not that I guess I'd say I hate reading, but reading books more specifically. Because like articles or anything, I can read very well. And I enjoy reading something if I'm interested in the topic, but I don't feel like articles or something I find online is really like book reading. You know?
But even articles, I don't normally read a full article. I skim it. Like I'll read the headline, read a couple like first paragraphs, and then I'm like, they just go too in depth sometimes. So I just skim through the rest.
But the articles I'm talking about is like going more in depth in like Star Wars lore or Marvel stuff or like something where I'm actually like reading it. You know? I'm not
Nerd
reading
alert again. Here we go.
I'm not reading like, oh, today at the Cincinnati Zoo, something, you know, like it's not like it's not headlines like you'd see like someone reading the newspaper.
News, yeah.
Yeah.
What's that gorilla's name?
Harambe?
Harambe. He's from the Cincinnati Zoo,
Yeah.
isn't he?
I believe so. Bro, that's just a sad story. You can't do my
gorilla.
Bro, that gorilla did nothing wrong. At all.
It made sense. You gotta kill the gorilla. He's gonna kill the kid.
Bro, I don't even think he was gonna kill the kid. Maybe. Because the gorilla's big and doesn't know his own strength. But
Yeah.
the kid fell in the water. And
I
the
agree, the
gorilla
kid-
grabbed him and dragged him out of the water.
I agree. Human error on our part, but you can't. take
Human
a
error on
gorilla over a
our
kid.
part. Whose mom let a 4-year-old climb like a 5-foot fence
No,
without
yeah.
noticing?
That's what I'm saying. So error on the parent's side, and they should be sued for the death of the gorilla, like wrongful death or manslaughter. But
Yeah.
I don't think you can. Is that?
Well, you can't do manslaughter. The gorilla's not going to fall under that category. Maybe a
It
wrongful
might be
death or
something
something.
with like wrongful death, or if
damages.
they have insurance on
Oh god.
their animals in the zoo or something like
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy situation. But they had to kill it. You can't take a gorilla over a child.
You can tranquilize it.
Yeah, but what if it freaks out?
No, the
One
reason
dart-
they
one
reason
dart
they
will not
didn't
put it to sleep.
tranquilize it, it will. It will just
No.
take 5 minutes or whatever. And they
That's what I'm
didn't-
saying. So what if he freaks out and kills the kid?
Then blame the parents.
No, you gotta take the. I understand Harambe should have lived, and I. R.I.P. Harambe. We wish you were here, but you gotta take the kid over the Harambe.
Yeah,
It just sucks that he has such a cool name.
Yeah.
I care
He is a
about
great
the. Did you
Like, if
see
it was-
what? It,
Steve the gorilla? No one cares.
No,
Harambe?
but
That's
there was there was a baby born in Japan, I think, into a zoo, like a baby gorilla, and they did an internet poll of what the gorilla's name was gonna be, and this happened after the death of Harambe, and so the legit gorilla's name I think is Harambe McHarambe Face. Like for some reason someone put that in as one of the entries, and it blew up, and that won the poll.
Harambe McHarambe face.
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up right now on my phone and see if that's actually like if the
That is
baby
so
gorilla's
funny.
still alive.
That's hilarious. Do you remember when that I don't know how recently it was. This giraffe was supposed to give birth, and like it was live streamed. Do you remember that?
A giraffe was gonna give birth?
This mother giraffe was supposed to give birth, and so it was like live streamed for like a week. We were just all waiting for this giraffe, and then it finally gave birth. I don't know. I remember recently watching a giraffe give birth because it was like not recently, but like a year ago.
Did you know that when pandas give birth, they will only nurture one young? So
Just for the rest.
so they will let all the others die. Which is part of the reason that they're like
Danger.
not extinct, but yeah, endangered, is because the panda will only care for one. It must be because of the neediness of the baby or whatever. But so what zoos or sanctuaries do with pandas is they will keep the babies somewhere else except for one at a time. And after that baby's had a chance to feed, they'll distract the mother with honey or something until it like starts eating, and they'll do a baby swap. And they'll swap the babies for another 12 hours or whatever, or enough time for each baby to consent to continually get nursed.
Do pandas, are they born in litters or are they born in
It's got to be like dogs. Like they're born. You could have one. You could have four.
It's a litter.
Yeah.
Pandas have a slow reproductive rate. Mature females usually breed just once every 2 to 3 years in their native habitat. Typical female panda may bear about 5 litters. Okay, so they do have litters.
Yeah.
But it
Only
takes like
5
2
in their
years.
life, though.
That's why they're extinct. They take forever to pump out babies. That's
And
not
they and they only take one baby.
Yeah, and then they say screw the rest. So they're
But-
pumping out one every. No, that's not our fault.
That's very Animal Kingdom, though. Like
Also,
they're
I
very
know it
survival
is
of the
fault.
fittest.
Well, that's life.
Well,
It's
yeah.
nature.
I mean, it's not humans anymore.
Well, you might argue it is.
Well, but we coddle and do everything we can to keep as much people here.
I agree. You know how fat America is? Do you have any like international friends? None of them are fat.
Well, I don't want to know about that, but America is, yes.
No, think about all your international friends' parents that you know. I guarantee you none of them are fat.
I'm
think
searching to
a
see if
lot of
America's
fat
the
Americans.
most, like, obese.
They might have the
country.
most obesity, but I think there are some other countries that have obesity problems. Ours is probably just the most prevalent.
Yeah. Well,
No, but like literally think about all your international friends you know right now. None of their parents are fat.
what is this?
Maybe not any of my friends. Okay.
Yeah, none
Yeah,
of mine too.
It is true. We're very fat,
We're not
but
fatty.
we also tend
I can
to
name like
like
20 people
we make
that I know.
escalators and we make any elevators. Every quality of life we can make, we make, which just enables.
It's because we have the American Disability Act, so we have to look out for disabled people.
Well, like, it's a good
That's good.
thing. Even creating
good.
medicine is a good thing. But, like, if we weren't doing any of this, part of it would just be the genetics that would stay alive are the genetics that are not affected as much by polio, or is less likely to get lung cancer, is less likely to get diabetes. Like, eventually, all of that we would just breed towards because everyone else would die off. It's like
Herd immunity.
and it's like birds. Like, I was watching this documentary of like eagles and different like big birds. They'll all hatch, and the mom will just let the chicks kill each other and won't step in or intervene or anything because she's only gonna feed the strongest.
You imagine if our moms did that?
Yeah, well, I mean, but luckily for us, I don't think twins is at a very high rate. You know, like twins and triplets, and so you have one per pregnancy or one per term for the most part. Whereas, like, if you're laying eggs, you got a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, imagine if we couldn't walk by, I don't know, 4 months in or something like that, and they let us die. Oh,
Well,
you're not strong enough to die.
Yeah, we don't have to fly, but because like the birds are like, oh, well, I hope you can fly. Like, out the nest
Yeah.
you go.
I guess their lifespan's a lot smaller too. Like, no bird is living 80 years.
Oh no, but there's definitely animals like us, like turtles. They probably are born in much more larger quantities, and tortoises and stuff can live to 100 years.
I thought they lay eggs.
I think some tortoises
They do lay eggs,
their
but I'm just saying that's multiple per thing because they lay eggs.
Baby
I'm
turtles
not-
are really cute.
I'm not sure which species, but I think I heard some type of like tortoise or turtle lays their eggs on the beach and then like leaves it,
Sea turtles.
and then
Yeah.
they have to hatch and survive by themselves.
Yeah, it got closed off. A training day that we were gonna have got closed off because they were just like, no one can come to this beach because the turtles are gonna hatch. So they were like, turtles are gonna hatch. Nope, you're not coming. And then they gotta wait for all of the turtles to go out to sea. It's not a bad thing. It's just, yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's a fest. There's birds everywhere. I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen all the animal documentaries. And because there's hundreds, maybe thousands, probably even tens of thousands, depending on where it's at, of like turtles that go there. Because in the wild, they're what? It's going to be like a 9% survival rate of just everything that's going to eat them, and then them actually getting out to sea safely.
Do sharks eat turtles, or they can't because of the shell?
I'm pretty sure some sharks could. I should know this because I'm a big shark guy. But, like, bull sharks eat license plates. Like, they just eat whatever's there.
Yeah, but that's like aluminum. That's malleable.
Okay.
Like, you could bend a license plate.
Yeah, but still. I'm sure some of them eat turtles. Turtles do get eaten by lots of stuff. I think octopuses. I don't even know, dude.
We're just not experts on turtles, turns out.
No.
We know very limited amount.
Well, if they try long enough, maybe. But I feel like if a turtle just hides in its shell or something and like pulls its legs in.
Are they born with shells?
Well,
Or
that's the difference. A tortoise goes in its shell, but like a sea turtle doesn't have the retractability. That's its actual, paddles. Yes, hammerheads eat turtles. I'm almost positive now that I'm thinking about it.
Why hammerheads? What are they so?
They eat turtles.
Also,
No.
are they born in shells?
And stingrays born in
Sea
shells.
turtles.
Like,
Well,
is a turtle
yeah, I
born
think
in
most
its shell?
turtles,
Yeah, they're
the
born
shell
with
is
their
part of their
shell.
body.
Yeah.
It's like a exoskeleton thing. But
turtles aren't like hermit
retract their
crabs.
arms.
Even the retractable ones like tortoises are born with that shell.
So how do you find an empty turtle shell?
You don't unless it's dead. Like, they're not hermit crabs where they all line up on the beach in shell order and switch each other's. Have you seen that? Hermit crabs will go and they'll make a conga line. Like, it's like their migration time or whatever, but they all go and the biggest shell will start here, and then a smaller shell and a smaller shell, and they'll go down like that, and you get out of your shell and hop into the next one. and they
The next
give
biggest one.
yeah, and they give each other their shells.
What does the biggest one do? Does he die? He's too old or something?
Well, he probably starts it when he finds an empty shell. That's
Oh.
big enough for him. But there are people, they fight over them. And so if you didn't get in the shell fast enough, then you're exposed. And they'll die from the sun. Like just from the hot sun without their shell on their back. And if they're too big, they can't stay in their shell.
Tiger sharks. Tiger sharks in particular are known for eating sea turtles. Killer whales have been known to prey on leatherback turtles.
Bro, killer whales are crazy.
Killer whales are cool.
Orcas
Those
are
orcas?
legit.
Yeah.
In Russia, there's a certain section, an area that breeds albino killer whales. Like, not on purpose.
Oh.
They're not actually breeding them. There's just the most sightings of them over there. And it has to be because some dominant leucistic or albino killer whale is over there and keeps passing on the gene. And it looks sweet, let me tell you. Albino animals, legit.
Yeah, isn't that how, never mind. That's a snow leopard, and that's just white in general.
Yeah, but the quote-unquote Black Panther, or whatever, or the black jaguar, whatever you want to call it, that's melanistic. Which is a similar thing, but instead of a lack of pigment, it has, I don't know if it's black, but it has all the dark pigment. So it's the opposite, all black compared to all white.
That's cool. How come there's not all black animals?
There is. It's melanistic. You just don't see as many.
They're probably just
one common example is Black Panther. Some panthers are black or whatever, but I'm talking about like
Black
a leopard
panthers,
that is actually
black
melanistic.
jaguar.
Yeah.
those are cool cats. Black panthers and like jaguars.
Yeah.
Those are just cool.
And then I think it's there's other fur variations, like piebald has 2 different colors.
It's a really lame topic.
Well, it's like spotted, I'm just saying. Some of the stuff
Really-
I know off the top of my
We
head.
really spiraled down into a real animal discussion there.
Well, because
I don't know how much
like
people
we
care
said
about.
with this podcast, is most of the time, yeah, it's very entertaining sometimes, but most of the time it's just us talking. And like, so originally, like what we said is like, we should just start recording us talking. And this happens to be one of those episodes where we're just like, hey boys, let's get together. And we don't have a plan because we just know our podcast is our podcast. And yeah, now I guess we're talking about the fur variation of animals.
That's what I'm saying. Which is like normal for we don't normally talk about this specific topic, but we normally talk like this in the
About
weird
anything
random-
and everything, yeah.
Yeah.
For
We'll do this all the time.
Mhm.
But as far as entertaining people, it's probably not the most entertaining thing we've ever spoken about.
Exactly, for a designated podcast.
Especially because we just probably sound idiotic to people who know what they're talking about. So we apologize to all those who we just offended.
Yes.
We're idiots.
All you zoologists or animalologists. Hey, Jurassic Park. Elon Musk. What do you boys think? Have you heard about it?
No.
I actually didn't,
What?
but I mean,
Did he buy it? He should buy it.
Good
No.
enough to.
So
Is he gonna do it?
I think it's
Like,
Elon
make-
Musk and someone else, some scientist or something, were like, we have, or we should have, the technological capability to recreate extinct animals.
Bull crap.
And Elon Musk said something about like he would fund it.
I mean, using DNA from like samples of
Exactly. It,
bones and stuff
legit
like that.
like
Well,
they
we
would in
probably-
Jurassic Park. Like from fossils or from, I think in Jurassic Park it's a mosquito that like got fossilized so it has the blood inside of it. But they were like with DNA from fossils and or previously extinct animals, and I don't know if it's stem cells or what it is, I don't know. I just know that people, it was a legit like, we could probably, because I don't think they know 100%, and they'd have to spend probably, I don't know, 10 years making the equipment or whatever, but recreate extinct animals.
Now it
Pretty
might have
cool.
to start with splicing DNA with like a existing animal or something like that. Because I feel like it'd be hard to just go from just a strand of DNA to creating something, but if you put it like with a chicken, then maybe you can make
Or
like
something,
a
yeah.
Archaeopteryx or something. But
T-Rex chicken. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Ah.
You use saber-toothed tiger and jaguar, or lion or something like that, and kind of
I
continue
feel
to
like
try and.
that's very cool. I don't think we should do that. If we had
I mean,
saber-toothed jaguars running around, I would not be a happy camper, frankly. I don't think that's a great idea.
If we look at what happened in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World,
It go well. Did not go well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying, and people were talking about it, and I was like, I'm kind of for it, but I also live on Hawaii. that is where it took place, or that's at least where it was filmed and stuff. So I was like,
we should definitely do it on an island.
Yeah, definitely we should be on an island with only like land animals. Because if we start making like sea creatures, then they break
we
out.
We could really screw ourselves. It's not a great idea.
But I'd be for it, bro. Like, yeah, probably down the line, eventually they might take over if done right, and they become like real apex predators.
Well, that's not optimal now, is that?
But my lifetime isn't gonna happen. If it starts in my lifetime and I'm already in my 20s,
I don't want it within the next 200 years.
Why do you care? In 200 years, you'll be dead.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll be here till probably like year 2100, and then my kids will be here till like 2150, and then my grandchildren will be here till like 2200.
So you're like, after my grandchildren, I don't care.
After my grandchildren, because then after that, it's like, yeah, it's not basically me.
I didn't know him.
Yeah, you didn't never meet him, so it's fine.
So. But let's wait 200 years to figure it out.
What about real lightsaber? Looking at my poster in the back, and I thought about it.
You can't. It's a made-up.
There's a YouTube account that's getting close.
Yes, I can talk about this a lot. The lightsabers from Star Wars. I don't know if we can ever get super close to that, but Hacksmith on YouTube has made like a lightsaber from. It's pretty much like burning. Like, I don't know what chemicals he uses, but it's like a controlled flame with certain size that he uses, and he can like melt through metal and stuff like that. But it's not going to be solid. You can't fight like another lightsaber with it.
Yeah. So it's not practical. It's literally just a blowtorch.
But it could maybe eventually be practical.
Eventually, if we can figure out how to do something with like.
I think you have to get a substance that's hot enough to burn through other substances while maintaining shape.
Well, so here
the shape is important because as soon as I've seen the videos, it touches it and then it just
Because what if it was a sword? Like it was a sword, but you could heat up the sword so hot that you could use that sword through metal.
Or
essentially, that's a lightsaber. But
they've done that, but it's not retractable. So they've had like a tungsten rod.
Yeah, but the tungsten rod is so thin and like.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's thin. It's not like as thick as a normal lightsaber would be. But they've had like tungsten rod with like other plated around it, so it gets really hot, up to like thousands of degrees, and so you can burn things with it. But,
I'm okay with it being a lightsaber, even if it can't retract. But if it can like self-ignite like that, like it can maintain shape. I can unsheath it, that could be like still a sword. Just unsheath it and then click a button or something, and it has the mechanic inside of it to where it can still be utilized like a real sword. I don't have to worry about, it overheating or it losing shape or it doing something, and I had essentially a lightsaber at that point.
I think we should go plasma gun. I think we're focusing on the wrong area. The guns they have in Star Wars, the little laser guns.
Yeah, but I mean...
Do they ever run out of ammo? I've never seen them ever replace their ammo.
Okay, they'd have to run out of ammo, but...
No, they don't.
Yeah, there's magazines.
Would make it to where
I don't think I've ever seen a reload, but I see magazines.
Yeah, it might be like just for design. They've never reloaded.
No, there's got to be a reload.
What?
I know Wookiees reload. In all the video games, you reload. Trying to think.
Don't.
That's true.
In the video games, you do.
Some of them are like charge based,
some
but some other ones you.
But like Battlefront, you
Star
reload
Wars?
some of those. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do it in Battlefront. You're right. I was gonna say, but Lego Star Wars, you just shoot forever.
Okay.
All the time.
If that's our standard of realism is Lego Star Wars.
Damn. But we should play Battlefront soon. That was a fun game.
The original Battlefront was so good.
It was incredible.
Because the newest Battlefront has gone down as a terrible game.
I think
Or whatever.
there were some updates that recently, like, it's more.
Yeah, but people were trashing
better,
on it,
but-
and it's like, literally, you just have to get points until you can spawn in your hero, and then your hero is way too overpowered.
Oh yeah,
And
the
then-
heroes are the worst.
And then once you have a hero on your team, if he just never wants to die, you can't be another
Yeah.
hero because you already have a hero on your team. Like, so there's
Yeah.
so many people that are like, this game is terrible.
Tate and I would play that. Tate, I've never seen. Tate gets so mad at that game. Do you remember playing that? Tate rages so much during Battlefront. It's hilarious.
It's the most stacked game you can have, though. So, you know, like a game when you're
It's
like,
infuriating.
come on, guys, let's like catch up, or you're the underdog and you're fighting for the comeback victory. That game
Yeah.
has stacked everything against you because the more momentum you have, the more powerful your team gets.
Oh yeah.
So as soon as the table turns from a 50-50, you're gone. There's
Like, if
no
they have
there's no
all the
equality anymore, and then it's just it turns
They'll have
so
all the
fast.
positions, and then they'll have freaking Luke Skywalker coming at you, killing you like every single time.
Or have you seen
And you can't
Anakin's
get
that
enough
game with
points
Tate.
to get a hero.
Anakin's like force choke? He makes everyone levitate in the air, and then he just force chokes and they all die. So this dude jumps into like a massive battle of like 16 enemies, and just and they all just start floating, and then they all die. Like they can't even shoot him at that point.
That game was funny. I loved that.
Incredibly
It was a fun
unbalanced.
game.
I watched a lot of YouTube videos where people are raging the whole time.
I think I deleted it. I gotta re-download
They're
it.
like little Ewoks. This dude has a YouTube video, and him and all his buddies are little Ewoks, and they're running over there, and Darth Vader is just mowing through all of them. He's like, and then he's like, gosh. He's like, imagine being the most powerful lord in the galaxy, and you just murdering teddy bears left and right to make you feel better about yourself.
That's so.
I think it's Battlefield, and there's this like Ewok hunt game mode that they added recently or something like that, where it's like almost like a horror game mode.
Oh,
And so
gosh.
you're out in the dark and you're like a stormtrooper and you're having to hunt these Ewoks. Like it looked really cool.
Oh, the Ewoks hunting you?
Or the Ewoks are hunting you, yeah, and you're like,
That'd be
Oh, I
hella
think I
scary.
heard that.
You're like a lone stormtrooper, and there's a whole bunch of Ewoks chasing you. Or there's like the flash grenade or something in Battlefront, as I think the Ewoks throw fireflies at you. And they're like, the people were making fun of it the whole time. Like, pocket sand, take my fireflies, stab them with a stick. Like,
Throw a rock at him.
mm-hmm.
So. How long have we been going here?
We've been going at least 30 minutes or something. Don't want to. We got our guest next weekend. So we're
Oh,
trying
big guest next weekend.
No, I just said we got a guest because we don't.
We got a big guest coming for you guys next weekend.
All right,
That's super big.
we just have to follow through on these open-ended promises. 'Cause
Let's talk about our guest. Who are we having as a guest? I mean, I know they're big, and I know it's gonna be really exciting. So I know that.
we have people down that we're gonna have as a guest. I'm sure the viewers don't want to listen to us brainstorm about which one we can finally fit. The viewers already know the struggle in the schedule. Matching 3 of us with 3 different time zones with a guest, like, we're pushing.
We were supposed to record yesterday, but I was like, I don't want to. I'm busy. We always do it on a weekend. Weekends are one time I don't work and I'm free.
Well, yeah, so weekends work the best, but if it's
I
on a
know, it's
weekday,
bad.
we can
End up
still
recording.
days I have school and homework.
Because
all
I get
day.
off work and I'm like, guys, we can bust one out real quick.
Tate,
It's like midnight
I
for
do not
Joey
believe
already.
your schedule. Tate's schedule is weekends or weekdays are off limits. Like, how are you busy
Okay.
until?
There's no way. Bro, I'm out here doing the most out here with my
Tate's
life.
like weekdays,
I got so much
absolutely
stuff.
not.
I got like different schooling stuff that I'm doing. I'm waking up at 5 in the morning. I got my job. I like.
I mean, I could probably make it fit on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but literally
I have
Monday.
a 5-hour window on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Mondays I go to school. until 3 o'clock. I come back. I have PT until 5:30, and then I take a shower. So it's like 6 o'clock. I eat dinner 6 to like 7. Then I work on homework till I go to bed at like 11. And
That's
my
the
day.
problem. You're going to bed too soon. You're not giving me enough
11
time
is
to
good.
bed.
I mean,
But then I wake up at 6 in the morning. So
DLI,
if I
I've
go-
heard,
Uh,
I've heard
DLI
DLI takes
literally-
a while.
Joey, I feel like I'm going to like top echelon, like it's at Ivy League level. Like
You-
this is the best language institute in the world.
You do know you'll get at least your associates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just it's a lot.
that's fair.
We learn a language in a year and a half, and Chinese is a very difficult
All
language.
right, give us a Chinese word of the week for the podcast members to learn. We'll do this every week. Tate's Chinese word of the week.
Okay, let's see. Give me a topic.
We look turtles. We talked about turtles today.
He's
Or
like,
gorilla.
He's like,
I
swim.
don't. We haven't gone over swim. I mean, yo yong. That's just say it's like swimming.
Yo yong.
Okay.
Yo-yo.
Or what about
Yo second
movies?
tone.
Movies, entertainment, something. Swords, battle. I don't know.
Let's see. Oh, here's an easy one. Tank is Tonka. Like
Tonka.
simple. Tonka.
Yo young Tonka.
So just the brand, like the Tonka trucks. You guys remember those?
Is that a Chinese company?
I have no idea.
Oh, that
Something
actually
like
could be. Tonka? And they just meant like tank or bulky or... Because they have
This
tractors
podcast-
and stuff.
We are on to big things. We just discovered big things.
Okay, no, alright. We got this, okay? Even if it's putting in more work from my end, we's going to have a topic every week that we're going to stick to. So this is your last, just kind of join in on the
Tonka
random
is an
discussions.
American producer of toy trucks. It was based in Mound, Minnesota.
Is it only toy trucks?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, it's a toy company.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
We're idiots.
our
Yeah,
grandma,
we're dumb.
I knew it was.
our grandma had a video game, and you could play on it. And in the video game, on the old school desktop with the computers that were massive, there was big crane Tonka things.
They're
It's
actually
owned by
Tonka.
Hasbro now.
Okay,
Hasbro.
that makes sense. All right, well, thanks for
Hey,
tuning in.
big guest coming.
Thanks for
big
tuning
guest.
into this
Get ready.
interesting podcast. At this point, you're in it because you're our friends, and we're and we're making our
Thank
way.
you for that.
We are
Friends and
making our way.
family.
No, big news alert. What we talked about the other day. This is gonna be sick. So
Tag just sends these. What are you talking about?
you know what I'm talking about, but so it might take a little bit, but we're thinking about merch.
No,
Yes.
no, don't say that.
Don't say it. Well, I already dropped the word.
Well, I know, so just don't say anything more. If they heard it, they heard it. If you didn't, you'll see you soon.
Okay, I guess we're not talking about it any further, but be on the lookout. Especially if
For that
this,
secret word that Tag just said, if you heard.
especially if this thing blows up, you guys are gonna see some cool stuff coming out.
Oh, if this thing blows up, I'll put more effort into
Yeah,
it.
and-
But for now, it's.
But you gotta
Stop.
put the effort in to blow up in the first place, Joey.
I got other things going on in this podcast.
All right, well, I'm putting in the real work. I'm out here getting us
I know,
copyrighted.
you're good.
I'm getting.
Did our
set this
copyright go
whole
through?
thing in. I haven't got an email back yet, but
Ah.
it told me when it passed the second stage or whatever. It said it could take like 4 to 8 months, and I heard back in like a month or whatever. So
Do we owe money if it's like? Do we have to pay to get it?
I already did all that.
Did it cost money?
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
We're going, boys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maybe we do need
Make it
merch.
worth it.
Yeah. If this ever makes some money, that'd be a nice surprise.
Tag can take the first couple pay cuts we ever get.
Yeah.
To put down the.
Donate our paychecks to Tag. So
All right, we love you guys.
Alright.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for keeping on messaging me, saying what you like, telling me
Hey,
you
start
listen,
messaging me.
so.
No one has messaged me other than my grandma. So shout out grandma. Good to see you.
All right. See you guys.
Peace.
see ya.